Every day in the USA, people find themselves in court.
All right, very good. Well, let's go ahead and start. I think we've got everybody we need, and I have a funeral to attend at 11. We'll see how we do. This is two cases. File 23830 AV is a dog bite case. The matter of Douglas T. Diotta, people of the state of Michigan. The other case, 231073GZ, that's an odd suffix, but it has to do with dangerous animal cases. There was an allegation that last May, this Akita dog seriously bit and injured Cinda Miller. Mr. Douglas Diotta, the owner of the dog, is present by Zoom. Sierra Diotta, I think, is also present by Zoom. TJ Reed is here on behalf of the Miller family, and Deborah Davis is here on behalf of St. Joseph County. Also present is Deputy Middaugh, Captain Baker, and Deputy Merck, who is the animal control officer. We had a lengthy hearing on October 4th, and we took testimony for a number of witnesses. Also had some exhibits. I made a finding on October 4th that this dog is a dangerous animal under the animal control statute, section 287321. And then I made a subsequent finding that it caused a serious injury under 287322. If the court finds both of those things, the dog must be euthanized. I indicated I would hold 21 days for the quarantine period and for the defendants to file an appeal and ask for a stay. That 21 days was up on November 3rd. The defendants did not perfect an appeal, and there is no stay from the circuit court. Mr. and Mrs. Diotta sent me a letter on November 3rd. I'll just read it. I respectfully request that no adverse action or euthanization of my beloved dog Miko take place, and an appeal decision has been conducted. Anyway, they didn't perfect the appeal. They filed the appeal in the dog bite case, not the dog termination case. They didn't actually file it. They haven't paid the fee, and it's the circuit court that would stay my order for termination. In addition, I have been advised that this dog bit staff at the animal control office and caused serious injury to someone that works out at animal control. Ms. Davis, do you have knowledge of that?
I do, Your Honor. That occurred on 10/20, 10/25 of 23. Also, I want to clarify, I believe that the order from Your Honor was signed on 10/5 of 23, which would have made the 21 days up, I think, execution on 10/27 of 23. So this bite came just a couple days prior to when that order, the appeal would have expired. However, because it did inflict a serious injury into this worker, we had to hold it another 10 days for the rabies quarantine, which has now, that was up as of this past Monday.
All right. Could we get some testimony? I had some information that came that someone was injured, but is Deputy Merck prepared to testify as to what happened, or Deputy Middaugh?
It would be Deputy Middaugh, who was the one that took the report that day. Deputy Merck was not available that day.
All right. Deputy Middle, it's a little hard to see you there, but we did this by Zoom as courtesy for all the attorneys. And this was set on short notice. This was a blank day when I said it, and then later a funeral was set for this day. Would you please raise your right hand? You swear or affirm any testimony you're about to give in this matter will be true to the best of your knowledge and belief?
I do.
Dr. Diata, I lost you. Are you still there?
Yes, I am. Yes.
All right. Would you state your name for the record, please?
Deputy Cody Middle.
You work at the Sheriff's Department?
Yes, Your Honor.
And do you sometimes have responsibilities at the Animal Control Department?
Yes, Your Honor.
It had come to the attention that there was another incident regarding this Akita dog, Miko. Do you know anything about that?
Yes, Your Honor. Go ahead and tell the story.
Yeah, go ahead and start from when you were requested to be there.
All right. On the date of 10/25/2023 at approximately 14:23 hours, I was dispatched to Animal Control for the report of a dog bite. Dispatch had advised that the individual had lacerations to their face and their arms. Upon arriving at Animal Control and entering the building, I made contact with employee Brooke Bigman and employee Stephanie Lowry. Employee Brooke Bigman was applying dressings to Stephanie Lowry's arm and face. A short while later, Life Care ambulance arrived on scene and transported Mrs. Lowry to Brunson Hospital in Kalamazoo for her lacerations to her face and arms. Following that, myself and Deputy Bigman took photographs of the dog's kennel and dog where there was blood and food scattered in front of the kennel.
Did Ms. Lowry make statements to you about what had happened?
Very briefly, she stated that she was feeding the dog and was attacked.
And did you take photos of Ms. Lowry's injuries?
I took some photos on scene of her, but she was bandaged at the time, and of the kennel and the dog. Provided later with photos of Miss Lowry's face from the hospital.
And Your Honor, may I screen share so we can show the photos?
I guess so. We'll see. I'm fearful how bad they are, but.
Deputy Middle, do you recognize this photo?
Yes,
Who is that?
Stephanie Lowry.
And do you know when this photo was taken?
I believe it was taken the night of the incident at the hospital, or possibly the following day, but
And is that a true and accurate depiction of what Ms. Lowry's injuries looked like on the day of this incident?
I did not observe the injuries at Animal Control as her face was bandaged up.
And Your Honor, I believe that these were taken by,
Actually, her husband took a picture and then sent it to
okay,
me.
her
But I was in the
husband.
room when he took it.
Okay,
All right, you can take that picture down.
okay. And did Ms. Lowry positively identify the animal that had attacked her?
No, she did not walk back and show us the dog. She was in the front office on the couch and then was escorted out by Life Care.
When you went into the back area where the animals are held, was there indications of which animal had been involved in the bite?
Yes, I was directed to the cage where Miko, the Acadia dog, was being held. And upon looking at that cage, I could see that there was food scattered in front of the cage and there was blood drops around the cage and in front of the cage.
Was the animal Miko still in the cage?
Yes.
Your Honor, may I screen share a photo of the cage and the dog?
Yes.
Deputy Middle, do you recognize that photo?
Yes.
And what are we looking at?
We're looking at Miko, the Acadia dog, in his kennel where the attack took place.
And is it a true and accurate depiction of what you observed immediately after the bite had taken place at animal control on the 25th?
Yes.
And I'd ask to have this admitted as an exhibit for the court.
All right, the first one is exhibit number 1. The second one is exhibit number 2.
Do you know, Deputy Middle, what the prognosis is for Ms. Lowry at this point? What the treatment plan is?
No, I'm not aware.
Is she back at work? If you don't know that, okay.
I'm not sure.
All right. And is the animal still being held at animal control?
Yes.
I don't believe I have any further questions for him at this time, unless Your Honor or Mr. Reed does.
I do not.
Mr. Deotta or Mrs. Deotta, do you have any questions of Deputy Middle?
Yes, I do.
Go ahead.
The first question for Deputy Middle. Upon entering the kennel, there should have been signs posted that said, do not interact, touch, or stick your fingers through this cage at any time. Did you see that posted on Miko's cage when you arrived?
Do not recall seeing that in the moment. I believe there's a photograph with one on the front of the kennel.
Yes, it seems that that poster has been turned around and is not visible what is written on that poster. But on my daily visits, there's 2 signs clearly posted that say, do not reach through, touch, or interact with this animal for any reason. Did you see those posted upon your arrival?
Again, I do not remember reading that, but after reviewing photos that were taken of the scene, there are signs posted on the front of the cage that were photographed.
Were you given any information or any testimony on how the attack occurred with an animal in a locked cage and his food slid under the door with no physical contact?
Again, I was given a very brief statement of what happened from Mrs. Lowry on scene. Outside of that, no, I do not.
What did she say?
That she was feeding the dog and was attacked.
Did she open the cage?
I do not know. I did, like I stated, I got a very brief.
Did you have any conversations with Officer Merck about policies and procedures and how to deal with an animal that is supposed to have no contact, no interaction, no fingers through the cage, anything? There is only a 2-inch gap. Did he give you any information on how this occurred?
No, I did not speak with Deputy Merck regarding this incident.
Are you aware of the animal control policy in dealing with dangerous animals and animals that are quarantined, a possible, quarantined and not to be touched? Are you familiar with this policy?
I am not familiar with those policies.
Are you familiar with ACO? This is a policy that all employees must abide by. They must go through training according to the Michigan laws and regulation of ordinance. All employees working at the kennel must, not shall, go through this training with ACO. Are you familiar with this training?
I am not, and I'm not very familiar with Miko. I am not assigned to animal control. I assist there at times if there's a report that needs taken and Deputy Merck is unavailable. Outside of that, I am not assigned to animal control.
Are you aware of who was present at the attack? Were there any other people who witnessed this attack?
To my knowledge, no. It was just employee Stephanie Lowry.
She is the only one who was present during this attack. There are video cameras. Were the video cameras able to show what happened during this incident?
I do not know.
There is a video camera pointing directly at the cage. So anyone and every interaction I had, this camera was pointing directly at me. Have you seen any of the video of what happened?
I have not.
Is there anyone present who has?
I'm not sure he has any personal knowledge of what the other people present know or might know.
I'm asking him if he knows anyone who has seen it.
I am not aware of anybody that's seen video footage.
Are you aware of any video footage?
I am not.
Do you know if the video cameras in that area are operational?
I do not know if they record or if it just shows a live stream. I do not know.
Judge Middleton, is there anyone available that who was actually present? I have actually spoke to someone who witnessed the attack, and they.
All right, well, let's swear Deputy Merck. Deputy Merck, would you raise your right hand, trade seats with Officer Middaugh? Do you swear or affirm any testimony you're about to give in this matter will be true to the best of your knowledge and belief?
I do.
And would you state your name, please?
Deputy Kyle Merck.
And you're presently assigned to the Animal Control Division of the St. Joseph County Sheriff's Department.
Yes, Your Honor.
And we've heard that there was an incident regarding this dog on the 25th of October. You were not working that day?
I was not. I was currently dealing with a personal emergency at my own residence and was not at work all day.
All right. Now, Dr. Diotta had some relevant questions. Is there a videotape of this incident?
I know that there is a camera that points that direction. Again, with Deputy Middaugh, I don't know if it is a live stream exactly or if it records.
All right, where does it go to?
Up to the front office, there's a control center for the whole camera system. After that, if it's backed up, I have no knowledge of that.
All right, well, this might be a good time to find out. So you've not viewed any video of this incident that took place?
No, Your Honor.
What was the protocol that was used to feed the dog?
So originally, when he came in, it was under a pie plate that was slid under the door. And per our last discussion, at the discretion of animal control for the handling of the dog and the request of Dr. Diotta to try to get the dog some out time, the dog was taken out on a couple occasions with Dr. Diotta and Stephanie Lowry at the time. So I do not know what transpired in the attack, as I was not there, but we were trying to give the dog some more attention than what a standard pie plate would be at our discretion, because we had seen nothing up to that point.
All right, so the dog was in doggy jail in this little cell. And I don't blame the Diottas. They wanted to get some outdoor time and other exposure to the dog. Is that true?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, but you don't exactly know what happened on this day.
No, Your Honor.
All right, Dr. Diotta or Mrs. Diotta, you have any other questions that you'd like to ask?
Yes, I would like to first ask Officer Merck. Have you ever at any time, say in the last year or so, retrieved video from the video system that you currently have? Are you able to retrieve past video?
I do not know.
Is there a hard drive that the live stream is sent to that's up front with you guys in the office?
I do not know. I know all the equipment for the video surveillance system is up front, but if there is a hard drive, that I don't know. I do not know.
And how long have you worked at Animal Control, Officer Merck?
9 months, approximately 9 months.
And in 9 months, you have never seen anything that records the video in the rear.
There's a camera that points to the rear, but whether
But in the
records-
office, in that actual office, there is no hard drive. You'll see wires that come into the front and it'll be a hard drive. You've never seen that in the 9 months that you've been in that office.
I guess I don't understand your question because a hard drive is a definitive answer. And I would say that there is a box that wires run to that control the camera system. Yes.
Okay, would you identify that as a memory hard drive for that video?
Objection, asked and answered. He said he doesn't know what it is.
Well, he doesn't know, so, and that's the answer. I
Okay,
don't know.
I do have, okay. Officer Merck, in preparing the cage for Miko, do you remember putting up several signs that says, do not touch this dog, do not stick your fingers through this cage for any reason? Do you recall those signs, and can you tell me what they said?
I do. And they say that do not interact with, do not put your hands in, stop, dangerous animal.
So everyone there was completely aware that he was there and being brought there not to be interacted with specifically for that reason, correct?
Correct.
And the reason that I was allowed to bring my dog out for exercise because he was immobilized for 14 days straight in the cage and could no longer walk, and I was allowed to bring him out for exercise in the yard. Are you aware of that? You
Yeah.
were out there when we brought him out there.
Yes.
So, and you are aware that initially when we brought my dog out, he could not run, he could barely walk, he couldn't even bend down to use the bathroom. Are you aware of that?
No.
Even though we spoke about it at the gate, you're not aware of that.
No, you told me about it, but I was not outside when the dog originally came outside. So I did not witness your said events.
Okay. Are you aware of incidents where he had leg weakness and couldn't stand that you and Stephanie informed me of?
I did not inform you of that. You informed me of that. Again, I did not witness that.
Okay, so I was informed via Stephanie, who was in charge. I informed you about it. So you were informed of it, correct?
Correct, but that's not what you asked me.
So you were informed of my dog by me of him having leg weakness and not being able to stand, correct?
Yes.
And you were informed that my dog was basically immobilized in that cage and couldn't walk, and that's why we were able to exercise him. Is that correct?
No, he was given exercise because you requested.
After 2 weeks, correct?
I do not know the exact date on when I authorized you to have that time.
Okay, I will inform you that I was unable to have any contact with my dog for 2 weeks, and the first time he was able to leave the cage was after 2 weeks. Now, on the day in question,
Is that a question or a statement? If he wants to testify, he can be placed under oath and testify, but right now you should be asking questions of the witness.
Well, that's a valid point.
okay, I will ask questions. Did anyone tell you how the employee, Stephanie, was bitten?
I guess I don't understand the question. I had heard what.
How was she bitten? If the doors were locked, there were signs up, they say no interaction. How was she bitten in the face through a gate?
I do not know. I was not there.
Was anyone there? Were there any trustees present?
I was not there. I was not there all day.
How was the dog, how did she get out of the cage?
I don't know. I was not there.
So as a animal control
Well,
officer.
stop. Were you told how the dog got out of the cage?
I had read the report of what had happened. That's all that I know.
All right, did you ever talk to Miss Lowry about it?
I have talked to her to ask her how she's doing. But aside from that, I have not talked to Miss Lowry much more than if she's doing okay and how she's healing.
Your Honor, may I ask a
But-
question?
Yes.
So there was indication that a Brooke Bingaman was present and applying bandages and gauze to the face or dressings to the face. Do you recall that testimony? From Miss Deputy
yes, I
Medoff testified to that. Do you recall that testimony?
Yes,
Did you have a chance to speak with Miss Bingaman?
yes.
And what did Miss Bingaman convey to you that her understanding of this attack was?
The only thing that Miss Bingaman had said is that Stephanie had come to the door bleeding. And that she had gotten attacked, and then that the dog had come back and attacked her again. That's
And the dog was identified as Miko, the Akita in question.
That's correct.
And so there's no question that the dog in question is the Akita, which was deemed a dangerous animal by this court and quarantined by the court, correct?
That's correct.
And so, okay, I have no other
All right.
questions.
All right, I'll let Dr. Deotta finish with any questions he has. This is somewhat of a red herring because I ordered the dog be destroyed because of what happened in May, because of what the statute says. This only compounds the thing, which makes it even worse. But the dog isn't ordered to be destroyed because of the most recent incident. I wanted some testimony about what happened. I already made a ruling that the dog was a dangerous dog and inflicted a serious injury. And as I said, the law requires the dog be destroyed. This is just worse. The Deottas did not file a stay where the circuit court tells me, do not destroy this dog.
We
You
did.
filed a letter that said, hey, please don't destroy my dog. But you haven't.
Our attorney is filing that stay.
I asked that the dog
All
just
right.
be killed today. I mean, this is.
Well,
just
you're not
delay.
officially a part of the case, Mr.
All right.
Reed. You are
Yes,
not.
just a
officially
minute,
a
just
part
a
of
minute.
this.
Ms. Deotta, A, I can't see you, and B, we're in a court proceeding. You don't just shout things out. I know you have strong feelings about this. He does. He filed an appearance in the dog GZ case. So, yes, you haven't filed it. This dog was deemed to be a dangerous dog by sworn testimony. And it was deemed to have caused a serious injury by sworn testimony. And some of the testimony I heard was not credible. The credible testimony was the dog bit seriously Cinda Miller. You love your dog, I concede that, but this dog is dangerous. And this reinforces the fact that the dog is dangerous. Your lawyer has not filed a stay. You have not paid for the transcript that the court reporter has prepared.
We have paid for that. We have paid for that. It is not true, Your Honor.
All right, that may have just happened. I was told Monday that the transcript had not been paid for.
Untrue.
All right, well, maybe it happened in the meantime. You haven't paid the fee, and you haven't perfected a stay. And and I'm confident in my ruling. I don't expect this matter. Of course, I don't have all.
Am I going to be allowed to question?
No, we don't need any more information regarding this. It was ruled that the dog be destroyed for what happened in May. This is just makes the matters worse. You haven't perfected the stay. They want this dog put to death. They want it even more so after what happened on October 25th. You love your dog. You write me a pleading letter, say, don't destroy my dog. This hearing is a courtesy. You didn't have an order from anybody else telling me not to do it.
It's in the circuit
So I
court.
said it on short notice.
We have put an appeal. The state of Michigan Animal Control is visiting the site, and they told us to call if this was going to be done. We have spoken with many people about this stay.
Well, no one has
if we did not, it will
no
be
one's
filed
ordered
today,
me
Your
to
Honor.
stay. What?
It will be filed today, Your Honor.
delay has caused this worker to be seriously injured. Had this been filed in May, we wouldn't be here and this worker wouldn't have had her face ripped off.
The worker did not comply
Additional
with the
delay.
ordinance of the Michigan.
Stop. It doesn't matter whether the worker complied with any regulations or not.
Oh,
The
really?
worker got seriously injured by this dog.
Because she
so
opened the
who's
cage, Your Honor.
next?
Okay.
Yeah, so we can never let the dog out of the cage henceforth. It's going to
Your
attack
Honor,
a
that
visitor
is not
at
the-
your home.
It's not the
All right.
ordinance.
All right, this is all sort of a red herring. Even if she did violate the regulations and she wasn't supposed to
She
take the
did.
dog out of the
She
cage.
did.
All right, so that means the dog has to be caged forever because it's
This
going
is-
to bite the next person that ever
We are
takes him out?
appealing that the dog should even be there. We are appealing
Yes,
that he should even be there.
I understand that, but you haven't done it. So
We
today-
did.
We have
No, Your
appealed
Honor, we have
that,
done
and
that.
the stay
We
will
have.
be put in today, Your Honor.
All right, from who?
From
The appeal
attorney
was in the circuit
Mark
court.
Linden. He isn't exactly, and Mark Linton is our attorney. He is in court this morning at 9 o'clock. We have been retained, and he said as soon as he comes out, he was going to try to join the Zoom call. He will be putting in the stay today.
Well, he doesn't put in a stay. The circuit judge stays the matter. Judge Stutzman isn't even here.
Your Honor, there's portions of this that you're not hearing and you weren't aware of. We appealed this
Well,
and we appealed
all
it
right.
timely. And the transcriptionist, according to your county clerk, could not transcribe it because she told me they were too far back. And so
All
the
right, well,
transcription was delayed.
So this transcript is going to be difficult to do. All right, you have.
We have paid for it.
All right, very well. Today is November 8th. I'm going to give you until Monday, November 13th to have a stay.
I would further state they failed to perfect their appeal. They've never served my office notice despite being attorney of record in that case.
Office, Your Honor, the
within
prosecutor's office is all we had to serve.
All right.
Read is
Well,
not
that's-
anywhere on the paperwork.
I guess if they want to read the court rule on appeals, it clearly
All right,
states
well,
who
once-
has to be appealed.
We
They're-
serve the
they're-
prosecutor.
All right, they're lay people and they're doing the best they can. Once an attorney gets in, if Judge Stutzman chooses to stay this, then we'll abide by it. The problem is, you're right, this is unfair to the dog. The dog doesn't know why he's been taken from his family and put in a small cage. The dog was quarantined for 14 days. It's no wonder the dog bit somebody. This has altered the whole existence of this animal. And now we're talking about months of additional time while this appeal is affected. So you have until Monday, November 13th at 5 p.m. to obtain a stay from someone that has authority to grant a stay, namely the circuit court. Now, if state of Michigan Animal Control has some supervisor authority and file some administrative stay, I guess we'll review that. But you're doing the best you could, but you didn't do it right. And that
Do we
is
have
not
the
a
right to
criticism.
defend ourselves, Your Honor? Isn't that within our rights to defend ourselves without
Yes,
legal counsel?
you do, but then you didn't do it right. So should I just
Okay.
order the dog be destroyed today? 'Cause
so
you
no.
didn't do it right?
So
You
no,
have a
let me,
right to-
so, sure.
Stop. First of all, I can't even see you. This is like talking to somebody on the telephone.
Mm-hmm.
Secondly, both people can't talk at once. You do have a right to represent yourself. And there's an adage that says it's a fool that has himself for their own attorney. You didn't do it right. I gave this hearing as a courtesy. They asked me to have this dog destroyed last Friday. I would have had the dog put down and sent you a sympathy card. So you can represent yourself. If you want to represent yourself poorly, I guess you can.
We have that right.
Sierra.
Yes. So you do have that right, but you haven't got anybody that's ordered me to stop the proceeding. And
We will have that
no
done.
matter, all right, you have until Monday at 5 o'clock.
Yes.
All right,
Okay,
if
that
there
will be
is no
done.
stay in place, the animal control may euthanize this dog on Tuesday, November 14th.
Your Honor, just to clarify, that would be by 5 PM on that Monday. There would need to be an order signed by a judge.
A judge
Not-
or some sort of administrative
Okay,
stay,
not
not
just
some.
that they filed something, but there was actually an order
An order
by
for a
an
stay.
official. Okay.
I will do an order to that effect. So you've got Mr. Linton on the case. If he can convince Judge Stutzman to stay it, then we're all bound by that. Otherwise.
Can we get a copy of the video?
Captain Baker, do you know if there is a video?
The video in the back, Your Honor, it's my understanding, it's been there for some time. It's just a view only, like house security system. Just
All right.
see the
Like
back
you-
of the front office.
So, but that video is kind of a red herring. It may have something to do if they sued you for money damages or something, but I certainly would ask to preserve it. But this ruling is based on what I found at the hearing on October 4th.
I think the video just proves what the court ordered is true.
Yes. All right, you got your marching orders.
Just
Okay.
for the record, for the appeal purpose, because it appears that's where it's headed with these, I would state that the people's position is that the appeal that was noticed out by the Diatas was not filed properly. It does not comply with the court rule pursuant to MCR 7.108B2. Even if it were a properly filed appeal, the appeal does not state execution unless there is either a bond filed or the trial court grants a stay with or without a bond. And there was no such request made during the statutory period. So we would state that it has passed and that the execution of the order from 10/5/2023 should take place. Thank you.
And I guess I'd just like to state for the record, this dog, I believe, is a clear and present danger to anybody around it. And additional delay exposes additional county employees and staff to this dangerous animal. The Diatas had benefit of counsel at the time. That counsel stated they were going to appeal. They had the ability, they had 21 days. The appeal process is laid out very clearly. I don't believe it's fair to everyone else involved or just to just continue to kick this can down the road because they write a letter to the court. I believe that the sheriff's department should be entitled to euthanize the animal today, and that they failed to comply with the court rules, they failed to comply with the other rules, and that the continued delay just poses additional risk and harm to the community.
All right, thank you. You both done a good job of stating your position. That's what they want, Mr. and Mrs. Diata. Over their objection, I'm giving you until Monday at 5 o'clock. All right.
Okay.
We'll be in recess. Thank you all for taking time to do this in very short notice. I will prepare a written order to that effect.
Thank you, Judge.